Okay, so hello, hi everyone. So for this video, we are going to continue on how to do binomial expansion if your n is negative or a fraction. Okay, so this is a case 2 for binomial expansion. Let's say, contoh, if you have 1 plus x to the power of negative 2, as you can see, your power, which is your n here, is negative. Or if you have 2 plus x to the power of 1 over 3. Okay, as you can see, this is a positive number, but it is not a positive integer. So dia bukan case 1, dia ialah case 2 because it is a fraction. Okay, so if the question give you your n negative or a fraction, that is a case 2. So that means the first thing you have to know if you are solving a binomial expansion is to identify whether your n is positive integer or negative or fraction. Okay, because for negative or fraction we will have a different formula. So what formula that we'll be using here, we have 1 plus bn is equals to 1 plus n times b times a plus n times n minus 1 over 2 factorial times b square. Looks like complicated formula, looks like a little bit complicated, but benda yang sama je sebenarnya, kita akan ulang-ulang-ulang. So as you can see from here, okay, so this is our a plus bn, kan? A plus bn. So from there you can see that your a here, to use this formula, your a for your expansion has to be 1. Okay, so your a has to be 1. So if the question give you 2 plus x, 3 minus x, you have to factorize first to make your a to be 1. Okay, so for every expansion for n negative or fraction, you have to state the validity of the expansion, the validity for the value of x. So how to state the validity? This is the formula for validity. Modulus b less than 1. Modulus b tu ialah nilai yang kat sini lah. Okay, so let's just proceed to the example lah. Kita cakap-cakap banyak pun tak faham juga nanti. So example 16. By using the binomial expansion, solve 1 plus x to the power of negative 2. So first thing first, if you see the binomial expansion question, what you have to identify is your n. So for this question, our n is negative 2. So we know that we have to use the formula yang ada 1, yang wajib 1. So from here we know that our a is already 1, b is x, n is equals to negative 2. So now we are going to expand our binomial expansion here. So first we have 1. Okay, 1 tu memang 1 lah. So that is your first term for the expansion. 1 is your first term. So plus n times b. So we have our n is negative 2. Sorry, here is negative 2. Your n is negative 2. So we will have negative 2 times b. b is x. Plus, okay, then here we will have n times n minus 1. So we will have n, negative 2. n minus 1, negative 2 minus 1, we will get negative 3 over 2 factorial times b square. So we have our b is x square. Okay, so now we just proceed. So the difference here is, kat sini kita kena tolak 1. Kalau bertambah lagi dia punya term, kita tolak 1 lah. And here the power nanti akan naik. Okay, the power akan naik, power untuk b kita. Okay, so from for the, this is first term, second term, third term. The fourth term kat sini we will have n minus 1, which is negative 3, n minus 2, which is we will have negative 4. Here we will have 3 factorial x cube. Okay, plus dot. Okay, normally question will give you how many terms that they want, or up to what term. Biasanya dia akan bagi tahulah. So for this, secara general, we just do up to x cube. So now we just press our calculator. So 1 minus 2 times x, we will get minus 2x. So here negative 2 times negative 3, we will get 6. Divide by 2 factorial, we will have plus 3x square. And this one, negative 2 times negative 3, 6 times 4 minus 24 divided by 3 factorial, we will get minus 4x cubed. Okay, plus dot dot dot. Okay, this one is compulsory, wajib sebab kita punya expansion sampai infinity. Expansion kita panjang, bukan sampai infinity lah, expansion kita panjang lagi, but the question asks for a few terms sahaja, so mesti kena tulis plus dot dot dot. Okay, so macam saya cakap, for every expansion we must state the validity. So for this question, the validity valid for, so the formula is modulus b less than 1. So we have our b is x, so we will have valid for modulus x less than 1. Or we can also state like this, x is between negative 1 and 1. That is all for expansion for n negative. Okay, let's see for question B. We have also n negative, but for this question, as you can see, your a is not 1. Okay, to use this formula, your n must be, your a must be 1. Kalau tak jadi. Okay, so first thing first, we have to identify our n, either it is positive integer, negative, or fraction. So here it is negative, so we know what formula that we have to use. We know that we have to use this formula. But if you want to use this formula, your a has to be 1. So what are we going to do is we have to factorize 2. Okay, factorize 2, but this is all in 1 power negative 1. So factorizekan 2, we will have 1 plus 3x divided by 2. Okay, kalau darab balik, make sure check balik. 2 times 1, we will get 2. 2 times 3x over 2, we will get 3x. Okay, tutup dua-dua bracket, negative 1. Ini ramai yang sangat lupa, selalu lupa. Okay, don't forget your 2 mesti kena power dengan negative 1 juga. Okay, 2 to the power of negative 1. So 2 to the power of negative 1, and here we will have 1 plus 3x over 2 power negative 1. Okay, so yang mana yang kita akan expand is this one here. Okay, this one here yang kita akan expandkan. Yang a kita dah jadi 1 here. Saya buat petak. Okay, yang di dalam petak merah yang kita akan expandkan menggunakan formula n negatif kita. So 2 to the power of negative 1 is 1 over 2. So ini biar jadi di luar bracket. So here let's use the formula. Now we have our a equals to 1, b equals to 3x over 2, and our n is equals to negative 1. So now just use the formula 1 plus nb. So we have n negative 1, b is 3x over 2, plus n minus 1, which is we will have negative 2 over 2 factorial 3x over 2 squared. Okay, so teruskanlah sampai mana yang dia minta tu, kita teruskan. So let's see, kita buat sampai 3 juga. Negative 1 n minus 1 n minus 2. Okay, so over 3 factorial times 3x over 2 cube plus dot dot dot. Okay, stop bracket. So now we just simplify, we just calculate. Here 1 over 2 outside. So here we will have 1 minus 1 times 3x over 2. We will have 3 over 2x. Okay, now this one, tekan je lah calculator. Plus 9 over 2 x square minus 27 over 8 x cube plus dot dot dot. Okay, so you can expand or you can just leave it like that. Dua-dua diterima. So if you expand, you will get this answer. 9 over 8 x square minus 27 over 16 x cube plus dot dot dot. Okay, so very important. First, if you want to expand for negative, for n negative or n fraction, your a must be 1. So to do so, you have to factorize your a. Kalau a kamu bukan 1 lah. Okay, so let's see next example, question C. Okay, again, if you want to do binomial expansion, the first thing is you have to look at your n. So our n here is positive, memang positif. Tapi dia bukan integer. So this is a fraction. So we have to use this formula here. Okay, so and also our a is not 1. So the first thing we have to do is we have to factorize first. So we have to factorize. So we need to factorize 8. Buat bracket besar. We have 8, 1 minus x over 8 to the power of 1 over 3. Okay, check it back. We have 8 times 1, we will have 8. 8 times x over 8, we will have negative x dekat situ. So here, be careful. Saya cakap juga, do not forget to power yang ini dengan yang ini. Okay, ramai yang akan lupa buat yang ini. So now we will have 8 to the power of 1 over 3. 8 to the power of 1 over 3. And then we will have 1 minus x over 8 power 1 over 3. So yang mana yang kita akan expandkan? Here, this one. Okay, ini yang kita akan expandkan. So 8 to the power 1 over 3, we will have 2. And then big bracket, we are going to expand 1 minus x over 8. So we will have our a equals to 1, b is equals to negative x over 8, and n is equals to 1 over 3. Okay, so now just use the formula. Boleh cuba buat dulu, nanti boleh tengok jawapan. Okay, so kalau tengok kat sini, saya buat sampai x square saja. Tak kisah selagi soalan tu tak cakap expand sampai mana, terpulang kat kita lah. Biasanya kita akan buat the first 3 term sahaja kalau soalan tak bagi tahu. Okay, kalau nak selamat kita akan buat sampai x cube sahaja. Okay, saya lupa satu benda, kita tak check validity kita. Okay, kita tak check validity kita. So validity, so this one valid for. So the formula to check the validity is modulus b less than 1. So our b here is negative x over 8. So we will have negative x, modulus negative x over 8 less than 1. Okay, so we know that anything in modulus mesti akan jadi positive. So this is the same as modulus positive x over 8 less than 1. So 8 is a positive number, so we can just bring to the other side. So we will have x less than 8. And then here we will have x is between 8 and negative 8 dekat situ. Okay? So again, lagi sekali saya ingatkan how to change, make sure if your a is not 1, you have to factorize first. Let's say if your a is not 1, we will have a plus b to the power of n. And let's say if a is not equals to 1, what we have to do is we have to factorize your a. And here we will have 1 plus b over a to the power of n. Okay? Alright. So last example here we have square root 1 minus 2x. So we know that square root 1 minus 2x is 1 minus 2x to the power of 1 over 2. So here we have a fraction. Okay, boleh cuba buat dulu. Okay, so again, don't forget every time you expand your fraction or your n fraction or n negative, make sure to check the validity. So this one valid for modulus What is our b? B here is negative 2x. So modulus negative 2x less than 1. So dalam modulus mesti akan sentiasa positif, which means modulus negative 2x sama juga dengan modulus 2x. Okay? So now 2 dekat situ modulus 2 sama je lah dengan 2. So we can bring to the other side. So we will have modulus x is less than, kalau bawa pergi sebelah, here will be 1 over 2. So we will end up with x is between negative 1 over 2 and 1 over 2. So that is how we find our validity and how we expand our binomial expansion when our n is fraction or negative. Okay? So now I hope that you are very clear on how to expand both n positive and n negative or fraction. Okay? Dua formula, kita ada dua formula. Kalau n positive, what formula that we use? Kalau n negative or fraction, what formula that we use? Okay, so make sure now you have in your mind that how to expand a binomial expansion. Okay.